So you might be asking yourself, well, okay, Jermaine, why after 2 years? What got you to commit? Well, I'm a mama's boy. Not that mama's boy.
He sure ain't, because I don't do those. No, no.
Not that, no. But
and I was afraid of that too.
I had a conversation with my mother, and I prayed on it. But I had a conversation with my mom's, and she really gave me some insight as to what I was dealing with and to who I had in front of me. And it was a long, I think I shared some tears, because I told her, my mom, she knew what I went through. And I told her, I was like, Mom, I met this, I met this girl, and she can just, mother can tell, so she can tell in the whole conversation, she know how much I felt about her, even though I didn't commit, until 2 years, but she could tell how I felt about her, and she just really gave me the rundown, and after that conversation with my mom, I need to talk to her, like I said, like she said. She was done. She was done talking. She was already out the door. Already out the door. And I told her, I was like, no, I really need to talk to you, and make a long story short, I confessed everything that I felt for her, for real. And I told her, I'm like, I'm ready, I'm ready to do this. And, I wanted to be able to show her that, one, I'm not your ex-husband, just as much as she wasn't my ex-wife. And two, that I can try my best to love you past that, that hurt, that pain, and trusting that she could do the same for me. And that was huge for us, actually coming together and being able to trust one another with that. It was hard at first.
Oh, that's a whole nother video too.
It was hard. It was very hard. Our first couple of years of actually being in a committed relationship, it was hard, and they say marriages that first year or two was hard, but this first year it was tough.
No, they say marriage is 5.
5?
Yeah. But that's marriages.
But
we not married, but
we not. But it was tough.
Yeah, but we realized that there was a real, true meaning to triggers. Like, I didn't realize I had so many triggers in regards to things that he did that reminded me of my past relationships or my upbringing, to where he was like, wait a minute, what'd I do? And I was just like, it don't matter, I'm done. Like, I told you once, you don't remember what I said? He was like, honestly, I heard what you were saying, but sometimes I need you just to explain to me what you feeling. And I'm like, dude, like, I don't want to.
She wasn't the explaining type.
No, it wasn't that I wasn't explaining type. Here's the thing. 2 years of trying, in your heart and your spirit that this is who you're supposed to be with, but he wasn't getting on board. I was tired. So if I felt the same tired from being in a marriage that I didn't want to be in for so long, after, going up and down in that, once I got to this, I was like, I was on a for real time clock. I'm like, look, I'm getting older. I met him at 34. I am 40 now. Met him at 34, after my 34th birthday. And I'm like, dude, like, I'm trying to get married. I'm trying to have another kid. I'm trying to get businesses, move, all that.
So imagine, imagine her telling me that after I just got out of a marriage. I just could not understand why she wanted to move that fast. But, she knew what she wanted. She knew what she wanted.
That's it.
And like I said, it's different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
She knew what she wanted. I sure as hell didn't. I knew what I didn't want, and that I didn't want to marry like that. Not fresh out of a marriage. I knew I didn't want to do that. She did. And
but here's the thing: you weren't fresh out.
No, I
you
wasn't.
had been out.
I had been out. I was still separated. Right? I was still separated. And
so when I met you, you was separated 5-6 years.
Yeah,
almost 10?
Almost, because we met
in 2014.
Yeah, I got married 2006. Wow, yeah.
And yeah, so
I got married 2006. She ended up leaving 2009. So yeah, been separated for a long time.
Yeah, so I come in 2014 and he been separated since 2009. Number one, I knew that was a problem. So I'm like, dude, why are you still married though?
It was complicated.
But best believe who did their research, me and my besties. Like, they weren't finna let me just go into something knowing that they didn't heard from me that, you know, I'm really feeling this person. And they like, okay, well, let's check this person out. And they did their due diligence. As sisters, sister friends, they did their due diligence. And I came at him with the facts. And he just like, okay, kind of thrown out.
But I didn't lie.
He did not lie.
I didn't lie.
He admitted.
I just kept it from her, you know.
He didn't tell me. I told him, and he said yes. So that showed some sign of character early on for me to make me continue to see how this was going to go. But still in all, you know, 6 years being together and not being married yet. One reason for me, or a number of reasons, but I'll name one. One is I don't like people to tell me what to do. Even him. But that's because I've been told what to do for so long.
That's part of her military background.
I was in the military before, and I had to be told what to do. But my grandpa was a military vet, so he told us what to do. But because I was a kid, it was second nature. I didn't mind that. But imagine being told what to do as a child, and then you go into the military being told what to do. And then when you get out of the military, you try to get yourself fit back into the civilian world, but you are just like in bad relationships, and they telling you not this and you not that. Nah, I didn't like being told what to do. End of story. And that's still to this day. Like, if you're coming at me with love and you have something to help me that's going to give me something to think about, I will think about it. But don't come at me with your religion and try and tell me the Lord said this and the Lord. I know what the Lord said, and I know how to read. So if I can do my work and research and do whatever you all keep wanting to tell people who are not fully into the church, going every Sunday, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, then I know, because I used to be that kid that was there all the time. But did you all ever think about, because you push a person so much into religion, that once they get older, they either depart from it or they come back to it? Yeah. So I mean, at this point with a relationship, I'm going to do this the way God told me to do it, and nobody's going to make me feel anything less than.
So, you know, to piggyback off of that, the key words is those outside interferences, okay? That's where I know I messed up at in my previous marriage. My mother was in my business. My family was in my business. A few of my friends were. A few co-workers. Like, everybody was in my marriage telling me what was going on, or, you know, trying to tell me how, you know, things,
what you should do,
what I should do, or what, you know, what's happening, this and that.
And people mean well.
Yeah, they mean well.
They only do what they're taught themselves, or they either learn or have seen their own. But
the thing that we're here to tell you is that those outside interferences can be very detrimental to your relationship if you let it. You know, if you let it. And we were young, and so, you know, you listening when you got people all in your ear, you know, and you know, I mean, 24, 25, and you know, but looking back then, you know, of course, if I knew then what I knew now, none of it would have happened. But
right, then we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here today, and
so it was necessary.
I love my parents, you know, love them to death. But again, pulling them into my situation, pulling them into my marriage, you know. So
who did that, you or them?
They see that's the thing. They willfully pushed themselves on us.
Okay.
And I let them, you know, just went ahead and let them, and that's not gonna happen this time around. Okay. You know, we are super grown now.
And we have plans.
But
that's our plans.
Our plans.
We don't have to lay it out.
Relationship is our relationship. our marriage is going to be our marriage, you know. Whatever your opinions and whatever you have to say, you keep that outside. You know, people. I was told that when you marry, you take God with you. Did I say take your family? Did you hear me say take, you know, anybody else? No, you take God. You put God first in your marriage and your relationship. You don't put your mama first. You don't put your daddy first. You know, love your kids, but your kids don't come first. You know, you put God at the head of your relationship, of your marriage. Okay, let a lot of those Baptists say he's a jealous God. So you put him first, okay, and you take God, you know, with you. But again, those outside interferences can be some problems for you if you really let it. And outside interferences have nothing to do with you and your mate. You know, you take it head on, and you take your mate and go behind closed doors and you talk about things instead of, well, you know, they said this and that.
So in reality, everyone doesn't have that choice of relationship where you can talk to your spouse, mate, whatever you want to call it.
That is true.
But that's where you have to think to yourself, am I in the right type of relationship? Because number one, I, years prior to, was never able to get any dialogue back from my whoever I was dating or in a relationship. I was the only one in it. They wasn't in a relationship with. But with him, I had to get used to getting feedback because I never had anyone who I was in a relationship with that gave me feedback. And that blew my mind.
You, just like you said, you definitely want to make sure, and I should have said that also. You definitely want to make sure that you have somebody that you can talk to.
Right.
If you're in a relationship where you feel like you can't converse with that person, that could lead to some issues. You know, because then it's like, well, who do I talk to? And you go to talk to a friend, you know, especially of the opposite sex, then it could lead to, you know, are you cheating on me? You know, why are you going to that person when you could come to me? Well, I mean, I feel like I can't talk to you, you know. And then at that moment, then it's like, yeah, okay, well, now we have, you know, we need to try to sit down and see if we can communicate with each other. Because if we don't have communication in a relationship, I mean, hey, communication goes a long way, along with trust, you know, honesty, and a whole lot of other things. So,
and that's a whole nother video too. So instead of me keep asking or saying that's a whole nother video, I have a lot of ideas that I want to do videos on, not just by myself, but with Jermaine. But if you all feel you like there's something that you would like us to talk about in our own experience, leave it down in the comments. Like, definitely
leave it down in the comments,
and we can start a conversation amongst each other. If you all have different, that's our dog. If you all have different perspectives on relationships and marriage and how old you should be and all of that, put it down in the comments. You might be able to help someone else, or it's going to be a healthy conversation because you'll get somebody's wheels to turning in their head like, oh.
Healthy conversations. And that you know, especially, you know, within the black communities, these healthy conversations were not had when we were growing up. And if they were, rarely did we see them. So we definitely want to, you know, when it comes to love, when it comes to black love, we definitely want to be having these meaningful, healthy conversations. Black men out there, I want to tell you that, you know, it helps to converse with your woman. It helps. Okay, your woman could be your therapist. You know, just to have her listen to you and be heard, and then in return, you know, do the same thing for her. You want to have these conversations. You know, you need to know where you're going. What do you want to do? You know,
Or you just wasting her time?
Yeah, you just wasting her
You just
time.
want somewhere to lay your head for the moment?
What are you thinking? You know, I want to know what's on your mind. You know what? You know, those types of things. You know, to be asking some probing questions to even start a conversation. You know, a lot. I'll be honest. You know, I mean, we're late, almost 40. Okay, a lot of you young couples out there. I mean, that you just don't talk to each other. Like that's. I'm not here to tell you how to, you know, move about your relationships or marriages, but
we're telling you about our experience.
Yeah, if you are not talking, you know, hey,
you shouldn't have to go to somebody on the outside to tell them how you feel or what you wonder what your mate is feeling. And, you know, it's just as easy as a conversation. Now, you might have times where that person doesn't want to conversate because they don't know how. And at one time, I was one of those who I was so used to doing the talking. When it came back to the feedback that I was getting, I didn't have the patience to accept the feedback. And I would just be like, you know, forget it. But you got to be careful what you ask for, because I prayed for that. I prayed with my kids for a man like Jermaine. Yeah, I prayed for that. Me and my kids
they
together
manifested this right here.
Yeah, okay. We manifested him and all his issues before we didn't know about. Cut it out. We didn't know about those issues, of course. But God got to give you a project sometimes, you know.
She helped me in more ways than I think she even knows. You know, she brought a lot out of me. A lot that, of course, I didn't get in my previous marriage. You know, I can tell you that.
Now, we were young, you know, trying to do what we thought was the right thing to do. Right. No matter what, you know, we have to be honorable in God's eyesight. But in reality, I really believe it was in people's eyesight.
Yeah, exactly. Those outside interferences.
We
did what we thought was good in their eyes.
That's it. You know, and it's not to take away from anybody's beliefs and, you know, how you think you should do things. But like I said, it's not a cookie cutter recipe for life.
Because here's the thing, you can adhere to people's advice. You know, we're always open to advice. Okay, especially from other couples that have been doing this for a long time, marriages that have, you know, that have been prosperous and things like that. Nobody's perfect. They all have their issues. We all have our issues. You know,
just like my unpopular opinion, I believe, is just following God. I'm talking about in the Christian religious background. Like what I'm saying, they just like, no, let me switch off this channel. Well, okay.
Yeah, but you know, it's
sorry.
You can
not really. No.
You know, you can listen, you know, to others, you know, but that doesn't mean you necessarily have to bring it into your relationship.
Right.
Bring it into your marriage. That's
and be careful with your gateway.
Yeah.
What you take in through your ears, your spirit. Don't listen to everybody.
Yeah.
Now, this is just a revelation on what we have learned and the things that are helping us build up to marriage. We never said that we weren't going to get married. Right. My dad, honestly, he's been with his girlfriend with 3 kids
22.
for 26 years.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be like that. He already know that. So what we have is a routine of every year we go over what we have accomplished, what we want to work on, and where do we see ourselves in the coming year. And that's around the same time that we met each other and start talking. So
technically on our anniversary, we talk.
Yeah, I mean, we don't talk, but we go over our year.
We kind of reflect on the year that, you know, we had, and like she said, we see where we're at. We see what we want to do within the coming year. You know, just we go over goals.
Yeah, our goals. And there was a part earlier in the relationship, I think, in year 4 or 3, where, you know, I told you, I was like, if this was just my lesson for me and God using me to help you get where you need to be, then I'm going to just have to be okay with that. Because a woman with a plan You already know. If you're a woman with a plan, you can't let feelings get in the way of nothing. Like, all that butterfly stuff. And he thought I just was heartless. Like, I didn't care. But
no, and no, you know, I did think that, but you know, she just moves different than I do, and that's okay, you know. But she helps me again when I say, like, she lights a fire under me, because I mean, coming out of that marriage, it broke me, okay. And when I say broke, it broke me financially, it broke me mentally, it broke me, you know, health wise. You know, like, I was up and down in weight a lot, but it just did some things to me that, for me, it took me a while to move past it. Okay, and like I said, she helped me with that. So
and guess what? I wasn't trying to help nobody. I was selfish. Like, honestly, coming in, when I talked about triggers earlier in the video, I was not in the position mentally to want to help anyone, because all of my little life of having little broken relationships, I was always forefront doing the helping them pursue their dreams and all of this. So coming to this relationship, it was like, after 2 years of me being committed and he finally wanted to get on board, like I said, I was tired. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever, do what you need to do. I got me and the kids. I support you in that way. But coming from, you know, being the head of the household, you know, taking care of everything, you know, I was doing a lot, right? And again, finally got the divorce, and you know, being separated for however many he was
years.
Coasting after the separation.
Yeah,
you mean?
I was just
he was on coast. Because I'm like, of course, that should have been a red flag in itself for me. Like,
right.
Who are just getting out of a marriage is going to continue with a relationship with someone or attempt to have one if you know that they're still married? But of course, I did my background work. I did double check, make sure she wasn't in state and all of this, you know, what we do as women. But still in all, in the eyes of the people, not, you know, they may have said, Tamika, you know you shouldn't be with somebody's husband. Okay, yeah, I get it. But guess what? It didn't happen the way everybody wanted it to happen. It happened the way it did, and it is what it is, and this is where we are. Right. So, in the end, when it comes down to marriage after divorce, you have some people who are ready to jump right into it, but you have people like us who would rather work on ourselves individually as a team, because we are best friends, we are a couple, we are each other's confidant, and when it comes down to it, we help build each other. Mm-hmm. So this is our foundation before we do the nuptials. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not sitting here being pressed about getting somebody's last name when I was so pressed previous to the last name, and I was like, you know, hey, it was for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. Whether you like it or not, it still happens.
Right,
and,
right.
You know, you go through life, you live and you learn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you can do. So, you know, that being said, again, life after divorce, there is life after divorce.
Definitely,
okay?
yes.
We'll say that. You know, there is life after divorce. Now, again, people are different. They deal with it differently, but they trust and believe there is a light at the end of that tunnel. There is that person out there mm-hmm. for you after your divorce. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And don't get it twisted. Don't think just because I've been in this relationship 6 years that I don't know my worth, because he could tell you. I know mine, but if it wasn't for God giving me peace with this man that I have in my life, and he continuously shows me his worth as a man to contributing to my life, I would have been done. Shut up. I would have been done. And that is no lie. He can tell you that. But we have helped each other grow in many ways, you know, not just mentally but spiritually we pray together. Prior to meeting him, it was always men in the church I was pushed toward. It was always, you gotta be a pastor, you gotta be a minister, you gotta be ready for this, we gotta do this.
Those types of expectations that come from the church.
Right.
You know, believe in who you believe in. Worship however you want to worship. But again, just be mindful, all right, of, again, those outside interferences that I talked about earlier. It's just, you got to be careful.
And you want to be, from the Christian standpoint, you do want to be equally yoked. Mm-hmm. So if I felt like it wasn't a possibility for us to be equally yoked, I would have ended it a long time ago, and it wouldn't be anything that he could do about it because God wouldn't allow him to continue to pursue me. Now, the first time in my life as a woman, I had somebody who actually pursued me and wanted me. I was the one that was always wanting the other person. So that in itself was like, oh, really? You know, he really wants to work things out with me. And that was abnormal for me. But now, hey, it is what it is. So life after marriage for 2 divorcees, 6 years later, we are doing great. We are building up our own individual wealth. And we have the support of our family to be together and be married. Of course, they want us married. That's a given. But we're here today to say, in God's timing and when we feel comfortable with everything. So
with that being said, if you feel that you can go out there and just jump into it, okay. If you want to take your time, that's fine also.
Mm-hmm. And you can do it by yourself. If you feel, that's going to give you some more worth or value as a woman or a man, that's fine. You don't need outside distractions or internal distractions. That is fine.
Just make sure, though, that you're ready.
Right.
Okay? Make sure that you're ready. So,
in terms of marriage. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But like I was saying, I was taught to build yourself by yourself and with God. But in this relationship, when he finally committed and he wanted to build with me, that was totally outside of what I was taught in my comfort. Because I'm like, no, we could do this separate. We ain't got to be together. But his heart was so in it with me that it was like, okay, well, I guess I'll try to do this with you. And we did. So that's enough for that, you guys. Thanks for tuning in to My Flaws and All with me and my sweetheart Jermaine.
Again, make sure you leave your comments down below.
Like, comment, subscribe. Turn on your post notifications.
Help us help each other with this, and when we have these conversations, help us out with some more topics. I mean, we would love to just sit down and tell you what we think, or
what we experience. That's the most important, because what we think means nothing.
So what we experience,
right? What you do is on you. But you can always take from everyone else's experience and just form your own decision on what you want to do. Because what you're not going to do is let anybody pressure you into doing something you do not want to do. All right?
That's real.
Love ya. Bye-bye. Say bye, Storm.
Stormy.
Sugar. Say bye-bye.